Oh, I do not know whether this is working because this bloody algorithm is always different every time I do one of these. But if you are joining us in the group, welcome. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping it's right. Let's hope so. I'd probably end up moving it around in all sorts of other places. Anyway, good morning all. Members and contacts and friends and clients and hangers-on generally in the Your Legal Fairy Godmother group. It's Happy New Year. Well, can you still be saying that on the 6th? I think you can. I think the official cut-off for not wishing anyone Happy New Year is probably 2 weeks in. So I think I'm going with that. And that is the whole purpose of today, is just to say hi, hello, and to tell you a little bit about what's going on, and to, I suppose, sort of not quite reintroduce myself, but I do feel like I've had about an eon off work because I was away for most of December. And we were a little bit quiet here because it was there was a lot of pre-Christmas stuff going on, as there always is. And now we're back, and it's nice to be back. It's nice to be back. So, how is your New Year panning through so far? Are you up to your eyes in diet videos, fitness videos, New Year, New You? God, I hate all that rubbish. So you will be very pleased to know there is no special offer here. There is no reinventing oneself here. There is a little bit of suggested planning that one might do, but that's very much a business essential, not a fad, which I can't bear. So I hope that the new year is looking perhaps a bit unknown, but hopefully a lot rosier than this time last year. So cast your mind back, if you dare, to January 2021, when we were all faced with, oh God, I don't know what lockdown that was, third, second, I don't know. Anyway, the hell of all months. I mean, it was just horrific. And I know I personally really struggled with that period. So I'm glad that we're feeling, it feels to me at least, and I hope it feels to you, a little bit more positive. That said, I bet you spent up over Christmas. You're looking at that tax bill looming at the end of January, and everybody's absolutely bloody brassic. So I'm very conscious of that when I talk about the things that I'm going to talk about next, the things that we're doing, the things that we're encouraging you to do. So even if you're watching this and going, well, that's all very well, Heather, but we just don't have any cash in our business at the moment. That's okay, you know, this is not you must do it now. But I'm going to just run through a couple of things that I think it's worth including into your business planning for January, because this stuff is important. I say this all the time. If the last 2 years, I lose track of the time, the last 2 years have not taught you this as well, it is bloody important. And I'm going to suggest a few things that you might want to add into your planning for the next, let's say, quarter. That gives you loads of time to get beyond the brassic month of January, hopefully get back onto your business feet. And while you're contemplating your business navel, as it were, which a lot of businesses do at this time, just have a think about some of the things that I'm going to talk about very briefly today. So you will have seen that pre-Christmas we were encouraging you to think about a contract review for your business. Now, if you've got a contract, a set of terms and conditions, they don't usually need much messing about with. Contract law doesn't change very regularly. It's relatively static in terms of the known law and how it's applied and so on. So it doesn't need much tinkering with, unless your business model changes and the way in which you deliver your goods or sell your services, unless that changes. Usually your terms don't need much change. But, ladies and gentlemen, for those who have been literally hibernating for 2 years, you will have noticed that clearly there's been a very seismic change in the way contracts have been used and been relied on because of COVID. And mainly that spins around the force majeure clause. Oh my goodness me. Go back and look at the videos that we've talked about force majeure in the last 2 years. But the force majeure clause is the bit of your terms that deals with what happens if something occurs which is beyond your control, beyond the control of the other party, evidently, in the current scenario, epidemic, pandemic, acts of God, government intervention, call it what you will, it's the clause that deals with that. And what happens in that event, both in terms of money or activity that's already been spent or provided, and in terms of any additional losses that might arise out of that and whose responsibility they are. Okay. Now, if you have a contract that was created for you pre-2000, so any time pre-COVID, you probably have a very short one-line force majeure clause in it. It probably says something like, in the event of a force majeure, we shall not be liable for any additional losses. I think that was what my pre-2020 COVID force majeure clause said. So if you have a contract with that sort of clause in it, I thoroughly recommend that you think about reviewing it. The principle of those clauses is still the same. It's not wrong, but you could have something a bit more robust and a little bit better in your contract, if that's what you currently have. So go away from this video, get your terms out, wade your way through the nonsense that you either understand or don't. Obviously, if you had one from me, you do understand it. But wherever your contracts come from, go and find it, dig it out, find that clause. If it doesn't exist in your contract, it probably needs to. And if it does exist in your contract and it's a one-liner, I think a bit of TLC might be required. Okay, so that's my top tip. If you have a set of terms, please check that. It may be also that COVID has flagged some other gaps, perhaps, in your terms. Questions around postponement are typically problematic for people, and questions around refunds, non-refundable deposits, oh my goodness, how joyous has that been as a thing to get your head around, and cancellations. If those clauses haven't been looked at for a couple of years and you want someone to sort of cast an eye over, you're in the right place. So as you will have seen for our pre-Christmas and our post-New Year posts, yes, I think I can say that, we are promoting our contract review service. It's a fixed fee service, so you know exactly what you're paying before you start. It's not an open-ended checkbook. This is good. It's $1.99 plus VAT. And for that, you send us your document and we will have a wade through it for you to check that it's still fit for purpose. If we spot that there's some things that need to be done to it, we'll tell you what we suggest and we'll give you a price for that, or we'll give you another solution for that, and you can then choose whether or not you do anything with it. If we think it's genuinely all right, and often it is, we'll say so and we'll be realistic. So if that's something that you think your business could benefit from, please get in touch. You can get in touch via the Contact Us page on the Stanford Gould website. You can get in touch via Messenger on here. I'm sorry, but I'm just drawing the line at having a WhatsApp group. So that is not happening. Very sorry for all you tech people who love WhatsApp, but no, that's not happening. My life is too full of nonsense as it is without putting a WhatsApp group in. So if that's something you want, please get in touch with us, email, messenger, or via the website, and we will happily do that review for you. I will put a link in the feed below for the contract review information on the site, and then you can kill two birds with one stone. You can go and look at what the review entails, and you can get in touch with us via the site. That would be great. Now, if you think that your contract is so awful that you don't actually want anybody to look at it, and that, ladies and gentlemen, I suggest is very worrying on many, many fronts, and you think, actually, this is shot, this is just, I know this is no good, I know this is rubbish, you could go on to the Stanford Gould online website and find a brand new template to get you going properly in 2022. There are nearly 20 templates there for all sorts of different wedding suppliers. They are specifically created for you. You can just buy the template. That's the same price as having the contract review. So if you know it's shot, maybe you should just cut to the chase and go there and buy a template. But there are also options if you want to add on a privacy policy, if you're still one of those dinosaurs who still doesn't have one on your website and you still haven't got compliant for GDPR purposes, there's an option there. And there's the option to get an hour of advice for us if you want to. So if you just think, I don't really need anyone to tell me that this contract's rubbish, I know it's rubbish, perhaps go and have a look at the Stanford Gould online website to see if there is a template there that would bypass that review process, and you just go straight there and buy a new one, because there's lots and lots and lots of templates on there that you can have a look at, and if you choose to, buy. Now, in relation to both of these things, as I said at the start of this video, I totally get that at the minute January is pretty tight financially, and we have all, including I, got a big tax bill to pay at the end of Jan, so maybe this month could be tricky. And indeed, I've already had some customers who were quite keen about doing this and then have said, do you know what, Heather, I might have to put it off for a month or two. And that is fine, okay? You're allowed, you're allowed. You do not have to buy now or you will miss out. You're allowed. That price will not change. It just is what it is. And if you want it, you know where to go and find it. But if you decide to put it off, that's okay, but don't prevaricate about it endlessly, okay? You've got a window of time, hopefully in the off season. Now is the time to try and get that nailed down, get it better, improve it, make it more robust. Give yourself some surety that you've got the best possible base to crack on with the new season. So, contract review, link will be in the feed below. Or alternatively, just cut straight to the chase and buy a new contract template. Link will also be in the feed below. Okay, so there's lots of other things coming for the new season. Your Legal Fairy Godmother group is open until the end of January. I'm one bod down in Team SG because the lovely Catherine is on holidays until the middle of January. So it's going to be a slow blog start to January in the group. So don't worry if you're thinking there's not a lot going on here, particularly if you're new to the group, because you might be thinking, I thought there would be more activity. And I'm really sorry, there just isn't, because we're a man down on Team SG. But there will be a gradual build as we get going into January, and I start to clear some of the backlog from December, which is what I'm primarily doing this week. So keep your eyes peeled in the group. The blog comes to you guys first before it goes out into the public ether. So if you've got any topics, suggestions, questions that you think might be ones that other people are scratching their head and thinking, well, what's all that about? Then let us know, and we can try and do a blog about it and then give you some answers in that way, and helpful material that you can share and swap and look at and hopefully get some of your questions answered. What I would say, and there was a post yesterday that I allowed into the blog, into the feed rather, on the group. A blog or a post on the group or a chat to a mate or a general, has anyone else had this experience, has obvious benefit. Of course it does. We wouldn't do it if it didn't. But it is not a substitute for getting proper legal advice about the specifics of the contract that you deliver under and what's happening specifically in the dispute, in the challenge that you may have. So by all means, please share in the group. By all means, talk to your fellow suppliers here. By all means, read the blogs that we've got. And there's lots of them. You can go back and look your way through the back history library. There's lots of stuff there. But please don't use those options as advice. It is not the same. And I'd really encourage you to make sure that if you're in a challenge, if you're in a spat, if you're in a dispute with someone, a customer, a supplier, or indeed anybody else, please take some specific advice about this. Do not wing it. Okay? So, tell us if there are topics that you think might lend themselves to blogs. That is not, oh Heather, let me tell you everything about this particular situation and then you can write a blog about it. That's not quite what I meant. What I mean is, are there general issues, general experiences, general lessons that might be useful, that we can add a bit of legal spin to, and then we can hopefully help you. So tell us if there's something that you want to see. Tell us if there's something on the blog that you want us to talk about. Tell us if there's something that you'd like a live Q&A about, or a bit of teaching. Briefly tell us. If this is a rubbish time to do a live because you're all doing other things, probably having a cup of coffee in bed and looking through other forms of social media, not watching lawyers, then tell us, and we'll try and put it into a different time slot or a different spot in the week. Okay, so we can try and accommodate what you want if you tell us what you want. If we don't know, we'll just keep doing it how we want to do it, and that might not be best. So let us know. Suggestion box is now open if there's anything that you want us to talk about. Your Legal Fairy Godmother group open for new members until the end of January. Invite who you like. If they want to come, they're very welcome. It's free. It will always be free. There will never be a membership here that includes a fee. That's for sure. Not the way in which this group is going, I can tell you now. So if you want to invite anyone along, please send them the link, get them in. For anyone who is new to the group, you're very, very welcome. These rambling lives happen on a relatively regular basis, and if you go back to the front page and look at the videos, you'll see there's bloody hundreds of them, and most of them are me rambling like this. But occasionally, we have a little gem of information in there, and the feedback from you guys is generally quite positive. So perhaps I'm dumbing it down more than I should. Anyway, videos available on the site and on our YouTube channel. If you want a video or a live sesh about a particular topic, please let us know. We will try and accommodate you. And as I said, you will continue to see messages for the next week or so about contract reviews and or new contracts. Use this time positively. God, I really, really hope, and don't we all really, really hope, that 2022 might have a smidgen more normality than summer 2021, which I know was a complete feast after a massive famine. And bloody hell, you guys ran around like complete nuts trying to deliver all that stuff. I know from some comments in the group that some people have removed their backlog. Hurrah! If that's you, flipping well done, because that was not easy, and last year it was not easy for many, many reasons, but clearing backlog was one of the problems that the industry definitely had to tackle in the summer. Hopefully this year there will be less of that backlog and more of those new weddings and events that we're all so desperate to try and crack on with. So I'm forever the optimist. I'm always a coffee cup is absolutely half full, and I'm not even going to attempt to show that. It is half full. It's in fact more than half full because I've only had one swig out of it. But I'm an optimistic person, and even when challenged, and many of you know the challenges that I've had in the last 12 months, which have been nothing to do with weddings, you try and keep that positive mindset. So I am going to be positive about the 2022 season, and I encourage you to be too, because someone very wise, it wasn't me, once said, whether you're an optimist or a pessimist, it makes no difference to the outcome. It's just an optimist has a much better time of the run-up. So I'm going to take that view. I'm going to be optimistic about 2022. I'm going to say that we're going to have a good summer season. I hope that you are using the winter to try and do a bit of recharge, to try and do a little bit of catching one's breath, doing a bit of planning, doing the stuff that businesses really need to do. And then spring will have sprung. Engagement season is upon us currently, so I know there's lots of venues that are doing show rounds and all sorts of stuff off the back of Christmas engagement. So I hope that's all fun and exciting, and it's giving you a bit of lifeblood back to crack on and do your jobs in what has been an exceptional period of time. If we can help you in that, either with a contract review or with a new contract, or indeed with a whole host of other things, anything legal, anything contractual, anything compliance, get in touch. we'll be realistic about whether we can help you, and if we can, we'd be delighted. Okay, so in the meantime, enjoy your January, get back on the all bran or the fitness regime or the diet sheet that you no doubt looked at, because of course I have. How long that'll last, who knows, but that's what we'll do. I'm going to drink more coffee. I've got my furry slippers on because it's damn cold, and I'm going to try and work today because I've got a customer to talk to at 10 o'clock. So, lovely Louise, I'll be with you then. And enjoy. Good luck. Have a good 2022. We will be back. This mug will be back, I'm sure, in due course. But for now, I'll leave you with those options, and I'll put the links into the feed. Enjoy the rest of your cups of coffee. Take care. See you in the new year. Bye.